The odds of Elias Pettersson being traded have never been higher, and a brand new team just entered the mix. NHL insiders are now confirming that the St. Louis Blues are actively sniffing around a trade for the Swedish center, and the Vancouver Canucks are suddenly willing to do something they previously refused to do: retain salary to get this deal done. With incoming Blues GM Alex Steen looking to make a massive splash and St. Louis sitting on 3 first-round picks, this blockbuster is moving fast. Here's exactly what is happening behind closed doors and why a trade could drop sooner than you might think. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. It's, of course, brought to us by our friends over at Daily Hive, in particular our good buddy Trevor Beggs. As he says here, are Canucks talking trade with the St. Louis Blues for Elias Pettersson? Another year of subpar play and mediocre preparation left the old Vancouver Canucks management regime frustrated, while they touted his defensive play. Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin often cited that there was another gear offensively, suggesting he didn't put in the work you'd expect from an $11.6 million player. Us as Canuck fans, we've been saying this the entire time. He has not been playing like a player who is paid $11.6 million. Granted, he really improved his two-way game and his defensive play as well, but you're there to put the puck in the net, you're there to score goals, you are also paid to be a $11.6 million player, and he has not shown that for almost 2 years. Now, as we all know from Ryan Johnson's press conference when he was named the new general manager of the Vancouver Canucks, and also just a matter of weeks ago, he said he has given Pettersson a clean slate. Some Canuck fans may not like that, and that is totally fine, saying that there are no expectations for the well-compensated center. While that's messaging that should resonate with a player who seemingly lost some confidence, and the feel-good vibes don't necessarily mean he's now sticking around. Now, I've said this before, giving him a clean slate, saying there's no expectations is a different way of doing it than what Rutherford and Allvin did. They're going a different route. They're trying something new with Petey, basically trying to free up his mind to just play hockey. So now a report from NHL insider Pierre LeBrun on June 18th, so as of the recording of this video, it would be 3 days ago, stated that the Canucks may be willing to retain money on an Elias Pettersson trade. That represents a huge change from the Rutherford and Allvin regime, who reportedly did not want to retain any money on Pettersson's contract, and that was a big reason why, the trades, when it came to Pettersson, did not go very far because teams wanted the Canucks to retain, and Allvin and Rutherford were adamant they did not want to retain on his $11.6 million contract. Now, if the Canucks are willing to retain, a Pettersson trade, of course, becomes certainly more feasible, and perhaps it'll, go a bit further along than what it has in the past. Now, teams like the Detroit Red Wings, the LA Kings have been linked to Pettersson. Of course, we all know the Carolina Hurricanes at one point were linked to Pettersson. However, Rick Dhaliwal is mentioning that a new team interested in acquiring the center, of course, we talked about at the top, the St. Louis Blues. Yeah, this Pettersson trade talk, I just want to say it's real. If the Canucks can offload that contract, they're going to try and do it. They're going to try and offload it. Somebody told me this morning that St. Louis is sniffing around Pettersson. I'm looking into it to see if it's true. The way it's been told to me is if the Canucks think they have a deal for Pettersson that makes sense for them, I'm sure they will then take that deal to Pettersson's agents, JP Barry and Pat Brisson, to see if Pettersson will waive his no-move clause. Dhaliwal's report that St. Louis could be interested in Pettersson is, of course, surprising. The Blues don't appear close to contending, making a decision to acquire a 27-year-old center somewhat difficult to understand. St. Louis has, of course, been rumored to be a seller over the past few months. They traded away their captain, Braden Shen, to the New York Islanders, and defenseman Justin Falk to the Detroit Red Wings at the NHL trade deadline. The Blues almost traded Colton Parayko to the Sabres as well, but that, of course, was nixed by Parayko. Jordan Kyrou is another player who's been rumored to be on the trading block, along with Robert Thomas. Now, the Blues could also be a little bit unpredictable, considering that they will have a new general manager as of July 1st. That's when Alex Steen takes over from Doug Armstrong. Steen will be the only active Swedish general manager in the league after Patrick Allvin was fired by the Canucks back in April. So yes, a Swedish general manager. Could the Swedish Steen be a believer in a rejuvenated Pettersson? St. Louis could also convince themselves that they can compete with another top six center. They have an obvious need for one following Braden Schen's departure. After Thomas, the Blues' next centers on the depth chart are 21-year-old Dalibor Dvorsky and former Canuck Pius Suter. Right now, the Blues have over $14 million in cap space to play with, and they have no big-ticket free agents that they need to resign. There aren't many bad contracts on their books for the Canucks to potentially take back. However, if the Blues want to avoid a long-term injured reserve commitment, the Canucks could look to take on the final year of Torey Krug's $6.5 million cap hit. The defenseman's career is over after subtalar fusion surgery on his left ankle. He hasn't played since the 23-24 season. St. Louis will be an interesting team to keep an eye on in terms of potential trades during the draft, considering that they're the only team with 3 first-round picks. And that is another interesting point, too. The Blues have 3 first-round picks. Now, personally, I don't think Pettersson is worth a first-round pick. Definitely, if he was the Pettersson of old, yeah, sure, absolutely. But right now, he ain't worth squat. So I don't see the Blues really offering a first-round pick. Then again, if they really want Pettersson so badly, maybe they dangle one of their first-round picks to the Canucks, knowing that the Canucks are looking for draft picks and want to, are in the process of rebuilding. Maybe they dangle that and maybe the Canucks jump at it. Who knows? But I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know. What do you guys think about this new development that the Blues are interested and are kind of, asking about Pettersson, or perhaps, showing that they're intrigued about a potential trade for Pettersson? Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. And of course, as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, on your way out, you can like the video and subscribe to the Line Change for more Canucks and draft-related content. You can also become a member of the Line Change by hitting that join button, get exclusive perks, behind the scenes, early access to videos such as like the one you are watching right now. And now, an important message from our friends over at DraftKings. It all comes down to this: a best-of-7 battle, and DraftKings has you covered every step of the way. The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. Sweat every shift of the series all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code THPN, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code THPN in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet text pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
Once again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Give me your trade packages in the comments. What could the Canucks get from St. Louis in a trade for Elias Pettersson? What would you like them to perhaps, get from St. Louis? Let me know down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.